So I spoke the other day about fiscal notes and how when a fiscal note is added to a bill and it has a high price tag attached to it, that can make legislators quite wary about passing the bill because they're very loath sometimes to pass legislation that's going to significantly decrease state revenue or run up liabilities. It's going to cost a lot of money, particularly if the issue is something remotely controversial. And this came up in the context of a bill that IJ's been supporting. It's House Bill 5629, and it's to do with license recognition for military veterans and for spouses, making it easier for such people when they come to Texas. Maybe they're transferred to a military base in Texas for their family members who are licensed in the profession to quickly get that license that's been created out of state, recognized in the state of Texas, so they can get to work quickly. A fiscal note was surprisingly attached to this bill, and the estimate that they came up with that it was going to cost the state was, over a period of some years, $100 million, which is absolutely crazy, and it just didn't pass the smell test for us. Like, something seemed wrong, that they were suggesting that this bill that would simply decrease bureaucracy, waive a few fees in terms of application fees for licenses, would somehow result in a liability to the state of Texas of $100 million. So we went through carefully, line by line, this fiscal note and challenged some of the assumptions. One of the assumptions seemed to be that it was based perhaps on all of the veterans and active military currently residing in Texas, and perhaps assuming that all of these people were going to apply for a license, when obviously the focus of the bill is actually people who aren't already in Texas but are moving into Texas and then want their out-of-state licenses recognized. So working together with the member office who's sponsoring the bill, they went back, we helped come up with some talking points, some suggestions on how this fiscal note could be wrong. And lo and behold, after working with the Legislative Budget Board, the fiscal note was rescinded. And we have this new one right here that says, there's no determinate fiscal impact. They said, it can't be determined. There might be some increase in revenue, some decrease in revenue, some change in costs, but it's certainly not $100 million, and they're no longer putting this ridiculously high price tag on it. So this just goes to show, if you get a fiscal note and it seems a bit crazy, it's worth challenging. Look into exactly how they come up with those figures. Sometimes mistakes are made in good faith. Sometimes, unfortunately, I think they cannot be made in good faith. Agencies, for example, are often loath to cede power and control over things that they currently work on. And one way that they can try and kill bills they think is either going to reduce their authority or make them do things they don't want to do is by suggesting it's going to cost an enormous amount of money, right? Like this $100 million for license recognition for military veterans and spouses. There's no way that number was right. So whether there was some creative accounting going on in one or more agencies, or whether it was just honest mistake in estimating that based on the wrong denominator, basing it on the total number of veterans in the state rather than the anticipated number of people moving into the state. However it came to be, we're pleased that it's been resolved. This is good. It's good legislation. It doesn't deserve to be sunk because there's an overinflated estimated cost of what it's going to cost the state of Texas. This bill is good for economic liberty. It's going to be good for the economy of Texas. It's not going to bankrupt anyone. It's going to be good for the state. So we are pleased to challenge the fiscal note in this case. And just a word of warning to other people out there, it's worth doing the same. If you see something that doesn't look right, then challenge it, and maybe you can get your fiscal note rescinded too. This is Sam Hooper of the Institute for Justice.